with Global.Media.com. Every step forward is a new beat to your drum. Achieve success with Global.Media.com. Then celebrate it with or without champagne or rum.
If you can hear me, can you hear me? Because I can't hear you. A whole bunch of people can't hear you.
Is that better, Michael? Matt says we can't hear you. Is that better, Michael? Can you hear me now? Yeah, but you're on mute, Michael.
Yes, now I can hear you. Loud and clear.
Yay! Okay, so
Finally. Oh
I've,
my
I've had it.
gosh.
I've had it
Please
all going
continue.
on. I've had it all going on, Michael. I've had my internet first of all crash. So I've got this internet problem
Oh
where
my
normally
gosh.
I have that 40 megabits per second download speed, and
Mm-hmm.
the last few days it's down to 6 megabits per second, which is not enough to power anything. So when
Oh,
I
okay.
started, first thing I had to do was basically, when I realized you could, my internet had come to a stop because I
Mm-hmm.
froze. I went
Mm.
around the house and told everyone, turn your internet off. You can't download Spotify. No, no, turn it off. Even my computer is off. It never goes off, right? So I
Oh.
restarted my router. That's at the
Mm-hmm.
beginning. And
Mm-hmm.
then I came back, plugged it all in, and the screen was frozen. So I thought, you know what? My computer's actually frozen. So I had to restart that again. And then I came back, carried on talking. All the time you've been seeing me, I've been talking, obviously, but you can't hear me, right?
Yes.
Which is
Yes.
rather crazy. Which is crazy. Matt,
Now,
welcome,
I'm
Matt.
worried
Well,
if you have a recording going on as
yeah,
well.
I have a recording, but so you can watch a recording to hear what I was saying to myself.
Yeah, exactly.
Matt Allen, welcome. Dr. Leslie, I see you. Welcome, welcome, and welcome. Glad you were here. So, who else do I say? My favorite Michelle's are here. Michelle B, welcome. The Gremlins, yes, Michelle, the Gremlins are definitely here. Michelle Ramos, superstar, who was here long before we started. So, thank you so much for being here. You were screaming no sound. I think I saw Linda earlier and Christiana. Christiana saying start already. I have started. Linda, yeah, there's Linda. I get to meet Linda tomorrow. Welcome, 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 all of you. My friends, you're welcome to come on stage as Michael has. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. Otherwise, you're going to hear me waffle on and keep talking to you, at you. If you're on YouTube, that's Michelle's hour, please like today's video, like this video, comment. Actually, you're commenting now, but comment on the YouTube page because I don't necessarily see your comments, but and subscribe. That's the other word, right? Christiana, welcome, welcome, welcome. Super.
Hello,
So
hello.
I'm meeting Christiana on Saturday.
What happened to your audio? And
Oh,
oh,
everything happened, Christian. Everything happened. At first,
wow.
my internet. Are you there? My internet crashed, right?
Yeah.
I hear whoever asked the question, can you hear me? Of course, that's probably me, right? Michael is there, Christiana's here. When I take comments off screen, their name. Christiana, stop making noise. You're making noise. Stop making noise. Anyway, so first my internet crashed and my computer crashed. And so I literally was okay. I had to go and turn everything off and start again. Now, where's the link? Says Matt. Matt's the link in the comments, but I'll send you the link right now. I'm glad you're on stage, my friends. Let's talk about being authentic. That's what I want to talk about today. Should I start, or does anyone have their own the point of view about what it means to be authentic? Michael, what's your take about being authentic? What does it mean to you?
Please continue as you had planned.
Okay,
I'm just going to listen as well as I can possibly listen. But
Okay.
in terms of being authentic, it's just being myself and utterly myself. Just like
I
you
like
say, you do you. Yes, and I like that. That's being authentic. I'll do me. Thank you very much, Annie. Great
super.
advice.
Christiana, what's your take?
Being authentic.
Yeah, what does being authentic mean to you?
Me, it means retaining my integrity. It means showing up. People say don't show up as yourself, but showing up as yourself because you can only be you. You're better
Mhm.
off being the best version of yourself than the second rate version of somebody else, right? So
Yeah,
it's really,
totally agree.
I guess you do what you need to do, but say what you mean and mean what you say.
Oh, I saw a post earlier from Captain Henry sent me a post and a commentary on what there's a lot of background noise on your mic, Christiana.
I'm trying to change it. I don't know why it's making this much noise. But as you know, every device have a mind of their own, remember?
Yeah, I tell you, don't they just don't they just try? No, so I saw a post or a DM. I got a DM from Henry earlier, Henry Stevenson, and I think it was from Tracy's room, and her version of being authentic in an Artillery Warrior campaign or program that she's doing mentioned a lot of about integrity. I guess her argument was that that is a rubbish way of looking at being authentic, right? Because Hitler was authentic, for example. He turned up as himself. Every day he was himself. He was ignorant, racist, and destructive to humanity. Is that the sort of authenticity you want to bring to the world? I wonder. It's a question I'm asking, right? I think for now, for the rest of us, I guess let me start with this. Let me start with this. I think a lot of people show up online and show up in our network as authentic selves. The problem I have is that authenticity it dooms them to failure, and it doesn't help anyone. It doesn't even help them. So we must learn. I think our notion of authenticity is warped. That's the conversation I want to have with us today. I think we need to look at authenticity from the side of our customers. What do our customers want in terms of authenticity? That's a conversation I'm hoping to have today. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on those. I think there's a lot of people who come with a weird authenticity that just gives me a headache. Christiana, I would lost you. There's two of you, Christiana. There's two of you. Matt, welcome. Where's Matt? Sorry, Matt. I didn't see you, Matt. Where's Matt? I don't know. Matt, welcome, Matt. Sorry, I didn't see you there. I was waffling away and do DMs. Tracy, welcome.
You were saying weird authenticity, and then you bring me up on stage. That's not nice, is it?
No, that's who's that handsome man on stage other than the handsome Annie? That'll be Matt, or do you mean Michael? I'm sure you don't mean Christiana because she's beautiful, not handsome. Does it matter?
I could be. I could be
Whoever said
handsome.
that, they don't mean me. Most definitely.
Thank you very much, Annie.
I
Those are
did
the
say that.
first amazing words I've ever heard from you.
Really, Michael? You don't listen to me enough, Michael.
Long enough. If you listen long enough, you'll hear another one.
Exactly. I agree with you. They do come along once in a while, Michael. They really do. Listen a bit more. No, you should. What did they say? So I'll take my comments off in a second. Several planets in retrograde right now, so we just blame all this electronic stuff on the planets. Maybe. I have not a clue. What does Michelle say? I'd love to do an appearance for part 2. Michelle, come on stage. Would there be a part 2? I don't know. Okay, Tracy says Michelle Christiana is handsomely beautiful. Yes, okay. I'll leave that alone. I get myself in trouble.
Thank you. I will take that.
I'll take that.
I'll take that.
You do that. Brianna, welcome. I haven't seen you for a long, long time, Brianna. Thank you so much for reminding me that my mic is a bit terrible. But we're all right now, I think. Thank you so much. Right. Okay, Matt, I'm glad you're here. If you're going to add to the conversation, please feel free. What's
Okay.
your take on being authentic?
So for me, authenticity represents some degree of truth. We'll start with that first. You said about customers. So Truth Platform, Democrat, which enables people to tell their version of the truth, and very simply the truth, no jingle bells to go along with it. So basically, just the straightforward, do you agree with a statement or disagree with it? That statement might be, for instance, I want war or I want peace. People's authentic true self is going to pick one or the other. It's very much a two-sided coin. You either want war or you want peace, or you decide to abstain, in which case you're not going to vote on that platform, right? But people's truth is more about authenticity for the world, and for an option that we do not currently see also in spaces like LinkedIn or Facebook or wherever else you want to look at, because we have questions about the authenticity about the people who exist there. Sure, we know each other. For instance, you and I, Annie, we know each other. So we see a comment somewhere, we think, yeah, that very much sounds like Annie, that very much sounds like Matt, or some of the other various people that we know. But on other platforms, we don't get to know people quite so intimately. And quite often they're very, very randomized people who might not be people at all in terms of authenticity. They could be bots. They could be people from all over the world who really have no point of view other than they work in potentially a 3-letter agency's sweat room. So when it comes down to authenticity, I like to think about truth, first of all, especially in terms of customers and what they would like for their truth, what they would say if they were given the option to actually air their opinion rather than just listen to what they are told is their truth or what the narrative is potentially. That's my view on that. I think you're muted again.
I'm muting myself. Look, I like your take, and I like your take. The truth thing, I mean, that resonates. I don't think it's a whole picture though. Here's thank you all that's given me your thoughts. See, here's the problem I see. I think people come to us, they come to the world, they come to their customers, they come to our network with their problems, their truth, which is a life of problems, right? And here's my thing. Look, I get it. Our lives are full of problems, Matt. Our Christiana, and Michael. Our lives are full of problems. They are, right? Things are complicated. Things go wrong. You just saw my stuff all go wrong in front of me, right? And I think even more, religion tells us that we're here to live a life of suffering. I get it, people, right? Let's face it. The only thing we all know is going to happen to us after all our truth, hard work, existence, success, or lack of, is that we're going to die. And you know what? People live that truth, Matt. And when you know what we know, how can you not be depressed, resentful? How can you not be traumatized? Think of the childhoods we've all had. I'm saying all of us here have had different childhoods, but we've all got our traumas, right? And I'm bugged that people turn up to work, people turn up to LinkedIn, people turn up to our communities, our networks, and they just spew their drama, the trauma drama. It's annoying. Yes, life is terrible, but see, this is my problem with the truth part, right? No one cares. We don't want your trauma. We don't want to know. We don't want to know. My title says very clearly why no one cares about your authenticity in 2025. We don't want the real you. Right. Let me explain. I'm not saying be someone else, right? I think I want us to be better people, Matt. I want us to be higher order people. Truly, I think my argument today is that we can be better people. So Anthony, welcome. My screen's moving. Is that you, Christiana? Well, you also have Pluto and Aquarius, which is technology. I have no idea what that means. Those who understand the stars. I'm just being honest, Matt. I ain't got a clue what that means. You know? It's like what
Being authentic, Kenny.
Yes, but I will do better, Matt. This is the point, right? I will learn and do better. You know, and like some people, some people turn up on that in our societies. Toby, welcome, and they just bring their troubles. You know, so as Toby says, actually, authenticity fuels integrity. You know, in case you weren't here at the beginning, I did mention, integrity is a good part of, of being authentic. Being your true self, telling your honest thoughts, right? And Hitler told his honest thoughts. Look where that got us. That was he gave. He was being his true self, his honest self, and it nearly destroyed the planet. To be fair, right?
Mm-hmm.
And look again, your point about your true self. There's a point to it, but I think our true selves has to be better. It has to be better than people come to us with, right? You're an example, Matt. Michael, you're an example. I mean that sincerely. I learned from all of you because we turn up over and over, and we do what we have to do, right? Give me a few minutes to wax lyrical. Lisa, my superstar friend, I'm so glad you're here. Happy Wednesday to you. Okay, so give me a few minutes, right? Mm-hmm. You see, like I was saying, Matt, life is unfair, right? Life is suffering, and that's what many come to share with us on social media. Don't do this. Just don't trauma dump on us, on people. It doesn't help your business. It never does, right? So the question is, who is my authentic self? Again, my experience of people on LinkedIn and people that I see every day, I'm sure you see them too. It's that we seem to think that we must live out our traumas. We must live out how we're oppressed in every way. Our ancestry, Michael, you did this to me earlier. I don't give a monkeys about problems with our ancestry. I'm not a victim in my own life. And we see people come to us, and their authentic selves means that they must communicate their victimhood. They must communicate their trauma, how they're disadvantaged, how they have failed, disappointed, right? You see, this is not the authentic self that our community or our customers need. It's not the true. It's not true that we can only get people interested in us when we share our problems. And look, we're not martyrs. Let's face it. In business, we're here to serve, my friends. We're here to serve. Now, Matt, a question for you. And Michael, and I know there's someone else on the stage. How often are you your true self? How often do you tell people what you really think, Matt? How often do you tell people what you really think, Christiana? Share with me. Tell us. Are you your true selves all day?
Let me talk briefly about a post that I've literally just put up, right? And this is very personal between you and me, Annie. And I actually tagged you, and I didn't know about this until I literally scrolled down after I put the post up, and I put your name in it, right?
No one can hear us. It's only you and me.
They must be able to hear me. I've got a big enough voice that anybody can hear me. You can't hear me just over like me talking down to you in the southeast of England. No, you're southwest, aren't you? Sorry. No, anyway, you and I'll talk, and everybody else can join in. And if they can't hear us, then they can just watch us and see if they can learn to lip read, right?
I can.
Ooh, that's good. Whoever that was.
Keep it quiet, Christian. Let the man talk, and then you can have the mic. Michael, you too.
Man, I'm going up in the world, right? So personal between you and I. When I first met you, I sent you a message with a video link in it. I don't know if you remember that video link. I've talked about it with you a couple of times before. And that video link depicted some sort of future in our country very specifically, right? And I was talking as my authentic self, that I saw that happening and I was wanting to change that and hopefully make an impact into what would happen in that way. And I've not succeeded so far in some respects, and in other respects I have. But I've reposted that video because it's off the back of a different film, a feature film that's out at the moment called 2073, which actually talks about the future problems that are based upon a news article that I've also posted in that post, which is by GBN News, which is basically talking about the control of freedom in our country specifically, right? Now, those things are things that I talk about on a regular basis, day to day, with everybody and with myself. Not in a weird sort of I've got two people inside of me approach, but in the sense of I think about how I feel about things in the world. And I also watch those news articles, and many other people, some people here on LinkedIn, maybe I'm not going to win any friends saying this, but people who restate the problem. And I think this is part of the thing that we should be bringing, is not an expert view of what the problem is, or restating it in some strange, fancy, weird way, or imaginative way, or as a professor of what the truth is, of what the problems are in our world. We are all familiar. We are all living, like you said, we are all experiencing these things. We all have troubled childhoods to some degree. We all have problems in our past. We all have money difficulties. We all have friends and family who are suffering. We all have a viewpoint on who's right and wrong, which parliamentary candidate we want to pick for the next prime minister, or whatever we're going to call them. We all have our views, but what we don't have is many actual solutions. And that should be what we are bringing to the table as God's honest, the people that we should be as business people, and as the people who want to move ourselves and our families and our communities and the whole world forwards. That is the truth of the matter. For me, is that the problems, we all know what they are. We don't need people to tell us what they are. And that doesn't mean that there shouldn't be a space for that. But likewise, authenticity, as people that want to make a difference in the world, that is not just restating what the problem is. That is finding a solution and putting our foot to the pedal to make sure that we are driving as fast as we can in the right direction. Don't get me wrong. I'm not just talking about driving that car towards some cliff edge, but I'm talking about driving it towards a solution that actually works for people and that makes a difference to people's lives. And I think that you've known me for long enough and well enough to know that that is authentically who I am and what I do and what I live every single day. And that, for me, is the purpose of life. Because if we're not looking to do better, then we may as well just cave it all in. That question that I asked earlier, like, what do you want, war or peace? Like, if everybody's fed up to the point where it's just problems and there is no solutions, then why are we not just pushing the button and wipe everybody off the face of the planet, if that's what everybody wants? We're all miserable. Like you said, why not be suicidal? Why not literally drive the vehicle off the edge of the cliff, right? But that's not what life is about. That's not what we're looking forwards to. That's not why you have a smile on your face occasionally. That is because we want better, because we enjoy good things. We don't enjoy all the crap. Sorry, I don't know whether I'm allowed to swear.
No. You said it as honestly as you can. Look, I agree with you. Don't bring your problems and your take of more problems to it. No, we don't need it. It doesn't help us. It doesn't help your customers. I totally agree with you. I guess the question I'm asking myself though, Matt, is who are those who bring their traumas, those who bring their dramas, right? I think they've become that person. And that is now their truth. That's a problem I see, right? That's who they are. That's who they tell themselves they are. If you tell yourself enough times, I'm pained, I'm traumatized, oh, I'm disadvantaged, why, whatever, gender, color, abuse as a child, Who knows? Your colleagues who hate you. I'm saying, oh my, the argument I had with my wife this morning. These are the things that make us all miserable. I agree, but I'm not going to tell you about my problems. I don't, because it doesn't help you at all. And I think there's a deeper issue when I ask the question, "Who are you?" A lot of people have their problems, Michael, Matt. That's it. That's the truth, and I think that needs to change. Christiana, what's your take? You're on mute. You're on mute. Yeah.
I'm going to go back to the very question you asked. I
And choppy. I don't know why. Yeah.
Can you not
Okay.
can you hear me now?
Yes, that's
Yeah,
better.
that's better.
Yeah.
Thank you. So let me revert to the question you asked earlier. One is about with your client.
No.
Okay.
Some words come out and then suddenly
Whatever you did before, do it again, but harder.
What's it? Is your laptop the problem or is your phone the problem? Which one?
My phone, my laptop is dead.
Okay, so this is better. That's better then. That's
You do what
you're
you
right.
said not to do.
My laptop is overworked on the face. So it's dead.
I told you when you start doing the defrag, it's over, Christiana. When you start doing defrag, it's gone, right?
Had to be done any. So going back to the question you mentioned earlier. So the question was, are we authentic to how authentic are we, and are we authentic to our clients in business? This more than anybody. When it comes to me, I tend to speak my mind. I tend to speak. It's not what you say; it's how you put it across. It's a delivery, right? But I pride myself on being authentic and being honest, because at the end, that's my integrity and that's my legacy, right? So I have to ensure that those that I serve get to hear the truth, get to because how do we help our customers and deliver that results if we cannot come to them in an authentic way? Does that make sense? How are we going to serve people that we do serve if we're not honest with them? Because being your true self, honest to yourself and to others. So when it pertains to business, I really do my best to deliver that one result, but two, that answer, that honesty. So the person that's in front of me can come away with the best that I can give them, if that makes sense. Especially because of the line of work that I'm in. We're dealing with lives, highly sensitive. Miscarriage and baby loss is something you can just lie to people. They're going through, for them to be or to talk, they want that, and at times they have done everything that they can do. They have tried different things, and they're at the point where they do want you to help them to get them results. So, where is my integrity if I'm focused on not being there with them? And I find all the time, because I've been through it, authentic or being my authentic self with them means that they get to really resonate and lean in. If I'm not doing that, for those that I serve, they will see right through that already, because we're human. We have, senses, and we. So to answer the question, yes, I am authentic to my clients, and the audio rooms that I've been privileged with you to host really shows that you've got to come with yourself, and you've got to be, whether you're an empathetic person, whether you're the truth talker, whoever you are, you've got to come with yourself to your business to represent who you are. Ultimately, if you can't be yourself, how can you be true, and how can you better your client?
Yeah, no, I get. Look, I get your question. Move your phone to a place where they can actually consistently hear you. I don't know how you do that without keep testing it.
I will try.
For a long time, you were good, and then suddenly it's fell off the cliff. But we heard most of what you said, though. No, we'll get the idea of what you said. You have to. I think I agree with you. I think we have to show up for our clients. People do this every day. People they go to work and we forget our problems.
Mm.
I forget the argument I had with my wife about the toast, about the shoes, about the toothpaste. I don't go and tell anyone those. I leave those behind, and I show up as what my customers want.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we have people who think authenticity on LinkedIn means rehashing the trauma?
Mm.
This is my bug today. This is what I'm trying to change, right? And now I'm not saying that I agree with you. I'm not saying forget your problems. I'm really not. I think I see it the other way. I think solve your problems. Be the person who's be the hero to your customers. That's what
Yeah.
they want you to be. Every moment, right? They don't want to hear your problems. You might think they do, they don't. Yes, they sympathize. Yes, they might think you understand them more. You might make 1 or 2 sales more, but you make a lot more sales and serve a lot more people when you are that hero. And people are not willing to look at themselves and say, what do I need to do to be a balanced, happy, knowledgeable person who can help my customers?
Mm-hmm.
They'd rather say, oh, I was raped as a child. I can't get over it. Oh, I was abused. I think that I grew up in. I say, use whichever one you like, right? I'm Jesus. I was nailed to the cross. No, you weren't. No, you just weren't, right? Now, pull yourself together. Really, put yourself together. That's what I'm saying to people today, right? Let's fix our problems. Let's be authentically happy people, because then we can turn up tomorrow as those happy people. Anything else, I think, is letting our customers down. Go on, Christian. I can see you're dying to speak.
And letting ourselves down as well, isn't it?
Yes, I totally agree. We really are. Go on.
So you, I completely hear what you're saying and understand it. So when people say, I'm going to be authentic and I have to bring my vulnerable side to my customers, that also depends on the customers you serve, right?
No, your customers don't want your vulnerable side. They don't want your problems. You're
Hold
here
on,
to solve theirs.
on. I don't have to put my
Matt,
problems on.
feel free. Michael, you feel free.
However, here's my thing. I'm not speaking to myself, but there are those who I'm just playing, devil.
I hear you.
There are those who would say to you, "Well, Annie, what about the vulnerability that we bring that people resonate with us, our customers, our clients resonate with us, we speak their language, and therefore they will buy into who we are, they will buy into us." Okay, isn't that also being authentic? One could argue. I'm not saying
No.
I do.
No, okay. No, here's my answer. I could keep quiet, but I won't keep quiet because it's my show, right? I think there's 2 ways I look at
You're
it.
not quiet whether it's your show or not. Don't worry about it.
Keep
There's 2 ways
quiet.
I look at it. Look,
Shut up. Let Christina
Dr.
continue.
Marcia, welcome. Links to join us. I'll send you the link now, Dr. Marcia. Right. There's 2 ways I look at it, my friends. I think people who have the trauma drama people, right? I think they put on a trauma mask to appear as vulnerable because they want to be mollycoddled by their customers. I think that's wrong, right? And then there's a second lot of people who do the trauma drama thing. I think they come with if I play kid and vulnerable, they love me more. And then when we, the customer, say, I don't do business with you because you're broken, you're weak, you can't help me, I'm not helping you, right? They're like, that wasn't the real me. That was me on a bad day. It was you. That's who you've become. That's my problem. Don't be that person. Be the person who fixes themselves. Be the person who solves their own problems. Be the person who mends their relationships. The one who learns how to talk to people, right? The one who gets healing if you're traumatized in the past, right? The ones who solve the real life issues. Our conscience knows. We know what our problems are, right? Don't come and share it with them. Don't dump it on someone else. Go fix them. You need
Yes.
therapy, get therapy. If you need to do positive mindset stuff, right? Now, mindfulness, do that. Right. So now, see, with those, my point, Christian, is exactly that. When we do those, we become the people who solve our problems. We do the hard stuff. That's a whole different, we turn up as a whole different person. We turn
Yeah.
up as people who are now able to be other people's heroes. You know, if you missed my picture at the beginning, I'm sure many people did, right? You know,
There was
what
only
you
you that heard it, Annie.
We can hear you.
oh, true,
It was
true.
very
That's a
inspiring.
funny question. That's a very funny question.
Let me play it. Let me show you the picture again, right? And you know, see if you get it this time. You know, Michelle Ramos. I hope you will get this. Now I'll show you for a few seconds because I think, you know, it's people's way of thinking.
Every step forward is a new beat to your drum. Achieve success with Global.Media.com and celebrate it with or without champagne or rum. Achieve success with Global.Media.com.
Do you feel like you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders? No,
No.
no one, no, because we're not. You know, everyone's got their own problems, right? I think we need to begin to truly be honest with ourselves and say, my world is not a miserable world. It may be hard, but I can overcome the hard parts. I will share with you how I overcame the hard challenges. I shan't come in with my miserable face to tell you my miserable stories for you to feel sorry for me. You know, I'm not a baby who needs to be, you know, who needs to be loved and cared for by our customers. That's not the idea. You must be the one who carries their problems and solves them. And first of all, solve yours. Be a person of excitement, enthusiasm, joy,
Like me.
success. Go on, please, feel free.
I kind of get the point of what you're trying to say, right? Is that as provider A to customer B, we should be providing their solution rather than joining on the bandwagon of what the problems are, or some sort of mutual appreciation or depreciation society that exists between potential people in a platform like this, right?
Yeah.
And very much everybody sees that, and a lot of people experience that. A lot of people are joining in that, and a lot of people find a benefit to the quicker relationship that can be built by having something in common with somebody, and at the same time having this position of being an expert in what they're talking about, right? Because they've had past experience. And I tend to relate to this in the sense of something very Christian, which not necessarily my viewpoint, but and that's not to say that it's not necessarily my viewpoint either, but a cross, right? We all have our cross to bear in the grand scale of things. How big that cross is, how many crosses there are, and how deeply the nails are embedded into our palms and our feet as we're trying to carry it along. You said that about Jesus being nailed to the cross, and potentially somebody saying that was them, right? But we all have our crosses to bear, whether it's the same as Jesus Christ's one or some entirely different thing. But the better person, the better business person, the better solution provider is the person that offers their hand to help that person with their cross, even if they are carrying their own cross, right? Even if their cross is bigger than the potential customer's cross. The point is that you want to try and help that person to deal with their problem and carry their cross. That's what you should be providing, and where we should all be as people, because that's what we want to do. That's kind of why we're relating to people about the problem, because we want to belong.
That is it. We need to be, I think we need to be the people whose authentic selves, whose true selves, is people who turn up to be other people's heroes. carry other people's burdens. That's what they're paying us for. Yes, they sympathize with our drama and our trauma if we dump it, right? But deep down, they're paying us to help them with their problems. This is why I just can't accept the people who turn up and dump trauma on other people. I think it's so rude, it's unfair, and I think it's abdicating your responsibility as an entrepreneur. This room is about growing your business. Well, didn't I talk about mindset stuff? I'm saying about growing your business. Dr. Marcia, the link to join the studio is in your DM. I just sent it to you.
I've sent it to her as well.
Yeah, so please do.
You know what?
Join us.
So,
Can't read your comment. Go on,
Annie,
please, Michael.
why didn't you say it like that other guy said it? It was very hard to understand you in the beginning, but now I do.
Which other guy?
I have a long presentation planned for you, Mike.
You're the other guy.
I have a long presentation planned, and I would have got there in the end, right? And I was not. You have to know what I try and do, Michael. I want to wind people up. I want to. What's the word? Trigger them.
The gremlins discombobulated you or something like that. What was that word?
No. I want to antagonize. Look,
I want to know why your wife is angry with you about why you're putting toothpaste on your shoes to shine them with a piece of toast. That seems like a reasonable argument to me. What's going on at home?
You would see. My point is that you will never know.
Here.
You will never know. Welcome, Dr. Marcia. How are you doing?
I am fine, thank you.
Hi, Marcia.
I love the conversation. I really do. And I think I want to put a spin on the authenticity of in 2025 because there are clients. We want to cater for those persons who appear to be sensationalists, those persons who make everything about them. So you have clients who are authentically themselves. They are narcissistic in nature. They command attention. They want you to solve their problems and nobody else's problems. They are impatient and so on. We have to authentically cater for those persons because one of the pressures of authenticity is that you want to be. There is some pressure put on you to be perfect and to be pleasing everybody and to be meeting everybody's needs. And so you have to get to the point where you understand and recognize those you can help. And you also have to recognize those who don't want your help, but know that you're the only one that can help them. And you also have to recognize those persons who are really disturbers of the peace. And so they come with their trauma and it's genuine. If it is that you get to a point where somebody, a client or so, really experienced something terrible, unexpected, unusual, overwhelming, and you can assist, then from a genuine, compassionate, authentic, empathic place, you would want to share with them because your business is not just what you're selling or the service that you're providing. You are not dealing with robots. You're dealing with human beings, and things happen and life happens. When you get to that place, you can really be authentic. You can say, I am not in that place where I can assist you, or this is traumatic for me also. This is a little overwhelming. And you can refer people. If there are also instances in which you cannot supply their needs, do not pretend that you can and try to buffle your way through or to see if you can make history by developing and expanding your service for an expertise that you don't possess. And so there are some of us who, in an effort to secure the profit, we pretend to be who we are not, or we experiment with people who don't have the time and who really come to us because of our expertise. And so if we are to look at it holistically, we have to look at the points where authenticity pays the customer. We have to look at the points where it adds value, and we have to look at the points where it destroys our peace, because we are dealing with it in a complex context that requires us to be ourselves also, and to accept what we cannot change, and to measure the extent to which we can sacrifice ourselves to serve others. That's the point I just want to make. Thank you so much.
Beautifully made, beautifully made. And I think that we agree with everything you say. I think that the sensationalists, you had me there saying that they're the ones that drive me crazy. Yes, I agree with you again. We can say we sympathize with a customer, and then and show them how we sympathize to help them. It's not, let's not get counseling and therapy from our customers. That doesn't work. Then that's not what they're paying you for. And I think, it's infantile. That's what I'm looking for. Essentially, when we go too far with bringing up problems, my toast problems with my wife in the morning. All I'm saying to my customer is, you know what? Please don't criticize me. Please don't have any expectations of me because I'm broken. I'm weak. That's what I'm saying, really, and that's not what we want to present to your customers, right? As Dr. Marcia says, we want to be their hero. We really do. We want to be the ones who unburden them in any which way we can. To do that, we have to show up as the best us. Again, I'm not saying to you pretend. I'm saying to you, work on being the best you. Learn, resolve your issues, get help where you need help. Be a better person. Be prepared to be the hero, because people do this for us every day. They do. They don't dump on us. So why does any of us want to dump on them? So I'm not saying we on stage do. I'm saying every day we have people who truly the workers. You see them going to work every day, right? Like I said to you earlier, they forget their problems when they get to the office. When they leave the house, they're like, oh, new day. Who can I serve? Right? It's the word serve I'm looking for today. I think that should be our focus. Serve, hero, our customers. That we're there to help them. They're not there to help us. No, that's Dr. Marcia. I think that's the truth. Especially when it comes to leadership, especially. I'm sure you know leaders who dump their problems on their team. They bring their upsets to the team. They bring as if their team are there to babysit them. They're not. As a leader, you're there to inspire your team. That means you have to show up as the best form of you.
And just to make a point, as you spoke about those who expect their team to babysit them, there are also those who come in so authentic that they become very oppressive. So there are some who enter the workplace as leaders to say, this is who I am and I'm not gonna change, and you accept me the way I am and so on. But there are adjustments that have to be made, especially when you're communicating with people. And if you are serving people, if you're building people, if you're transforming people, then how they are affected and how you show up and how you are interpreted matters to people, especially if you're to get the support that you require, or people are to feel included. Being yourself and making it a badge of honor to say, I am unkind by nature and that is how I am, or I value my own opinion and that is how I am, does not work when you're a part of a team. It works when you're in your shower or when you're having dinner around the
in your
table,
car,
but
in your car when I was looking, and when you're flipping people off from here and there. I'm saying, Matt, this is my point about the integrity argument earlier. If we can become genuinely nice people, but the only way to become that person who can bring the integrity we're talking about, Dr. Marcia, is people who have resolved their issues. They've worked on themselves. They found inner peace. They found the determination and the will to serve. That's what drives them, rather than the will to take and to sell and to pretend. That's my personal take. Michael, Matt, what's your take?
Michael, you want to say something, or shall I?
Well, you go ahead and say something. I'm gonna back up for the time being.
Okay, I'm going to point at something which says miracles, right? Because I don't want to talk about my problems in the past. There's no need to discuss about my wife and my arguments about, I don't know, like baseball bats and goldfish. random things, any, you know, like shoes and stuff. Anyway, miracles. I basically changed my own life, right? And any, you know more about this than anybody else here, right? And I don't dwell on those things. I express them very succinctly in my very first part of when I talk with people, and very quickly get past that because it's the least important thing. All that it does is to express that I used to be a certain way, and now I am considerably different to that. I very much associate to Jung's philosophy on life, which is that we are not the sum total of the things that have happened to us in the past. We are the possibilities of everything that we can become into the future. And I believe that everybody is a miracle. And I talk to people about how they are a miracle and how that miracle can bring about a real change in their life, and how that is a solution to not just their individual problems, but a collective problem that exists for many of us in every single way. And that's touching the tip of the iceberg, right? Now, it's exactly what you're saying, in the sense that I don't dwell on the problems. I dwell upon the solutions and the realistic happiness and overwhelming joy that I have in my life because of not just the positivity, not just my purpose in my life, but the fact that I can see that everybody has the ability to change from wherever they might be to something better, to something that makes them happy, that makes them authentically feel happy, like you were saying before, where we get in our cars and we are glad to be journeying in the way to our job, or to go and walk the dog on the beach, or whatever it might be that we are going in our cars to do, like drive around roundabouts aimlessly just to keep the battery running on the car. But it is all about how we feel inside, and that authenticity that we know that we have overcome, and we can overcome everything, that we have the power inside of us to be the miracle that we need. And then, as an authentic person who has dealt with their own, in your polite words, our own problems, our own shit, the things that have happened to us in the past, the things that are constantly happening to us now, and how we have risen above those things to be able to think about the solution rather than just the problems, and re-quantifying, restating, reiterating that in whatever guise we do it. That needs to be the change in the world for me for 2025, is that we need to see solutions, and we need to get on board with them and understand how to apply them in our own lives, individually and collectively, so that then we can truly make a change in the world. Because without that, there is no going forward.
Matt, you know, you've said it. We'll put it more beautifully than I could say. That this is my point exactly. Everything you say there is exactly it. We have to learn to be better people for ourselves and for everyone else. You know, I see, you know, maybe I'm just bugged that I see people who keep living the same nightmare, the same misery, the same unhappiness day after day after day. And then they share that unhappiness with us. Look, if you know the problems people go through, Michael has his own issues. Dr. Marcia has her own issues. I have my own issues. Yeah, mine might sound like trivial arguing about the dog. You know, that's not true. I'm just saying that's an example. You know, everyone. Now, Christiana has her own issues. We all have our own problems, right? But we know we're learning to be better people to work through those problems, because I think we need to be better people for our community. We need to be the ones who can help people, not the ones who can suck people dry. But that takes a true self-examination of who are we really. You know, are we the people who overcome, the people who face hard challenges, people who would do what needs to be done, the ones who hear our conscience, and when the conscience say don't do that, we'll say no, we're not going to do that because we know better, right? The ones who go out of their way to lift others up. Imagine if everyone was doing that. We'll be all better people. Truly, I truly believe we would be. Michael, what's your take?
Well, I'm the person that I think Annie you're talking about is Paulette. Pretty much, you're describing her. And the other gentleman, he said something about a passage from Sung. that he follows, I'd like to see that in the comment field, because I've already forgotten what it said, or how he put it, but it was very nicely said. It is something definitely that people, yeah, should follow, because it's very good advice, really. It's strange, but at the same time, it's comforting and very positive.
Thank you.
In life, you need to be positive, and you need to have the energy to bring that positive energy of, in order to be able to solve people, your positivity has to be able to overcome
Mm.
their negativity. And in order
Yes.
to swing people in the right direction, that's what you need to do, and that's part and par what a leader does.
Mm.
In order to ensure that a boat goes in the right direction, or a ship goes in the right direction, or that the Titanic does not sink, you need to be powerful enough to move it with the collection of people that you have with you. Just simple as that. I'll leave it there.
No, I agree. I'm glad you mentioned Paulette, because she's, say we're surrounded by people who overcome every day. Like say it's not just Paulette. Say this Willie J. For example, someone who I met on LinkedIn. Now this man is Entrepreneur of the Year 2023 and 2024 in US.
Yeah,
That's
not just Paulette, also Natalie as
yeah,
well.
Natalie Erskine. I could go on. There's so many
Dr.
of them.
Amaka.
Dr. Amaka for sure, Michelle B, Michelle Ramos, Leah Garcia, I could Cyrus, everyone's got a story. Michelle Whiteside, I could carry on. Michelle, if again, everyone on stage today, I know, we know each other within reason, right? So what they've done is not ignore their problems when they show up. It's not what people say, which is put on a brave face, and pretend. We tackle issues that we know we must. Don't let things eat you up, emotionally and physically. That's not very clever. That's not being authentic, right? The question that we need to ask ourselves really is, who do we need to be to show up for our community, for our customers today? What do our customers need from us today? Who do we need to be? And then let's not wait. Let's not wait to wallow for them to suffer more pain and truly have more trauma. Let's work on ourselves, and then let's become those people who are ready to serve. You see, when I was growing up, I grew up in state care. Many of us did, but many of us did very well. Some went down the pan, to be fair, right? Some the figures for prison, for unemployment, for crime, for homelessness. It's full of people in care. Matt, you know this as much as anyone else in this country, right? I'm saying, but many of us survive. Many single mothers survive, parenting their kid. Look at Oprah Winfrey. So I want to come back to my friend William Blankson. When I was a kid, I said, William, he was another kid in care with me. And we were in children's home together. Then we went to older children's homes. Leaving, it's not leaving care, but a bigger home where you stay more permanently until you move out of care into your own place, right? This man had a Porsche by the age of 21. I was amazed. William, it's not because of anything more than he put his mind on solving a problem for the car industry. He found a solution that Porsche and those companies bought. That's what they gave him a car. And I was always amazed, how, William, how have you done it? Now, he's got a company that makes motor parts for his companies. I'm saying he's been doing this forever, right? He learned to fix himself. He learned to deal with his issues and to move, almost transcend that barrier, to become the one who helps others, who creates. I think we can all do this. We'll need to do this.
Yeah,
it's where success really lies. Those who succeed, they don't succeed despite their traumas. They fix their traumas. and then succeed because they are better people. Their authentic selves is, here's the one thing I'll say about being your authentic self should be, or could be, or it may want to be. I think the first word I would use is hyper confident. Like, what do you need to do to become hyper confident? It's not ego. It's not. You would mean that it's not. It's not a bad thing. When you know what you do, you know how you do it, and you do it repeatedly, and they're willing to pay you for it, and that's a miracle, man. That's a miracle. But it's, it takes work, right? It takes work. It's life. We can all do this. I think we all have to do this. If we want to build a business and success in life, we must be the people who, create a happy life, create a happy family. As hard as family life may be, as hard as personal life may be, do the work. And then create solution business. Go on, Matt, please. Go for it.
A couple of things. I had a Porsche by the age of 7, not 21. It came in this little box, and it was pretty cool. Like, you push it really quick across the garden. It was really good. Anyway,
very funny, Matt. Very funny. Hilarious.
I want one of those.
And he knows what I'm like. It's an expected thing that I'll come out with this stuff. So realistically, and you mentioned pain, so let's talk about that for a moment, right? So part of my experience in my previous life is that I was addicted to fentanyl and morphine, and I went through a very enduring 7 days of basically my eye exploding out of the front of my head in hospital, wanting to kill myself, and they gave me a plastic glove to put on the side of my face to deal with the pain, because I was addicted to so much of the morphine and the fentanyl that they couldn't give me any other pain medication. And one of the things that really set me on my path to my miracleness, if you like, is that I wanted to solve that pain issue for me and for other people, and solve lots of health issues that realistically shouldn't exist in our world today, because they are things that are very treatable in very cost-effective ways, but the powers that be are not interested in fixing those problems, because for them that would be a problem, because they wouldn't be raking in all the money that they do, because the problems would be gone away. It would be better for society, because we'd have a lot more functioning people who would be not necessarily pain-free, but they would be operating in a much better way for a lot of people, because they wouldn't be having so many chronic health conditions, right? And that really set me on a path of trying to find the best solutions to the biggest problems, right? And I'm most definitely not the cleverest person in this room. I'm definitely the person with the small Porsche driving it around on my garden patch out of everybody in this room, right? I am very much that person. But I very much am the real delivery of the solution to problems. And that for me is really big, comes from wanting to solve my own problem, understanding how to do that, moving forwards, and having then a desire to solve those problems and many, many others for other people, right? It's very fundamental to being able to solve problems, is understanding the process to go through. And that doesn't mean that if you've not had a problem before that you can't do that. I'm not saying that, but my experience, my lived experience is much like what Annie was describing, that by wanting to solve a problem for myself, doing that, and repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, and grow with that until last night. And don't want to put figures in it, but last night we were talking in team about one of the globes, or at least a part of one of the globes, which fundamentally would see 20,000 new startups in a country that globe would be deployed in within 10 years. No government is able to do that. No business support agency is able to do that. No university is able to do that. But we know how to do that. And we're at a point of getting to delivering that to market to get some investment into, right? And those things come from, again, the most stupidest person in this room because I would literally go out in the garden and push my Porsche around. Most people don't want to push their Porsche around, they want to drive it. But I can't even drive it. I still have that eye problem from when I was in hospital. But that's a constant reminder of solving problems, right?
So Michelle says, we understand the pain by going through it. Of course we do. But and once we go through it and we do what Matt's saying, work through the pain, work through to find a solution for ourselves, invariably we find a solution for others that we can then teach others. And if we share, we get you, here's how I got through it. That's much different to what we have today, which are people who say, oh, I'm going through that too. Now let's wallow in the pain together. No. Let's not wallow in the pain together. No. If you can't help them by sharing your pain, don't share your pain. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Christiana, maybe I'm wrong. I can accept that. Look, I think it's my good friend Annie saying, was your car Hot Wheels, Matt? Was it Hot
Is that
Wheels?
Annie?
Yeah.
Is it Annie Foster?
Yeah.
All that I can see is LinkedIn user, right? Hi, Annie.
I can't say for sure, but I know Annie's voice when I see it. I think this is another one of Annie's. We have to, be the person we see in the mirror, and that's the truth of it, really. The one who's there, and of course. See, again, people who dwell on their pain, it's a pathological thing. They convince themselves that they're ill, that they're not right. I think we have to be the ones who love ourselves, respect ourselves enough to do what it takes to put ourselves together. What I would say, many of us who grew up in care, as we know it, we're all told we were doomed. Paulette, perfect example, definitely not doomed. If you know Paulette's story, then you know why I'm banging on about Paulette. But it's not just about Paulette, it's about many. I've mentioned William. Annie is another one. I'm saying Natalie's. I'm saying there's enough of us to know that those who chose to tackle the issues are moving forward. We're not perfect, really not. But at least we're trying to tackle the issues. And we all know those who turn up every day in pain. And we can solve those issues, begin to solve them. And if we do solve them, Matt, like you just explained, our powers are enhanced beyond what we can think of. And we're not talking incremental impact on life. We're talking about limitless possibilities.
We're talking exponential, like forget about AI. The possibilities of what is the potential of people who are inhibited in various ways. It's unimaginable what could be done, right?
True. But Matt, I think I want people to understand the mechanism by which that happens. The mechanism is listening to your subconscious, listening to your consciousness, listening to your soul, right? And then doing what's right. This sort of my beef is that those who turn up to do the trauma dumping thing never actually look at themselves and say, who am I? They're just in pain and they just leave that pain. No, don't do that. Now sit down and truly ask yourself, who am I? What do I need to fix? No, because when we fix that issue, we are going to move our lives forward beyond. Michael, Christiana, talk to me. What's your take? Christiana, are you better now? I wonder.
What do you mean?
Yeah, you are better. You're much better now. Excellent. Yeah, share with us. You've listened for quite a while, so what are you thinking about authenticity now?
I'm still thinking that when it comes to authenticity, you've got to just be yourself. You've got to be yourself. Do you know, I remember, this is a true story. During my corporate days, I had a manager who said to me, I could not bring myself, my full self, into my work environment. And I pondered on what they meant. And the following day, I asked the question. So you said X to me yesterday. I want to understand from you, let me have clarification, what you meant by the comment you made. And to cut a very long story short, it turned out that my, I guess my very direct and bubbly self wasn't welcomed in a work environment because my, I guess my manager at the time didn't feel that they needed to be reminded of the darkness that they were going through, which was completely unknown to me. You know, so I say this to say that when we come with our authentic self, where quite often you're not really aware. Some people are not aware of how that could make others feel and how we are perceived. You know, so a lot of the times it's about perception and how others perceive us. And I know I hear people say, well, I don't really care what A, B, or C think about me. The reality is when you are serving customers, when you're serving clients, you must consider your authentic self, how it impacts others around you, what it means for your clients, for you to be truly 110% authentic, you know, and also if they are, because each client is very different. Is every one of your clients going to be able to perceive your authenticity, how you play it out or how you want it to come across? So it's that awareness really and gauging the people that we serve. You know, I know I began when I first spoke, I did say that for me, I come to my clients authentically because of the nature of the work that I do. You know, I embodied that anyway because that's why I began this. I was the person who went through that trauma, went through what felt like hell, and had to find ways to really overcome, or not just overcome, but to move forward and to find ways to, I suppose, to cope and to manage, you know, during the days that I have perhaps trigger emotions or trigger days or things that trigger me in environment. And I had to really get through that and process and move forward. And that's the reason why I'm in a position where I can turn up authentically because I understand and I do get it. I do understand when people say, you know, I've experienced a miscarriage and potentially what they're thinking, what they're feeling. So what they perceive from me and my authentic self is going to resonate with them. So I'm saying all of this to say that, yes, be authentic, but have the self-awareness and self-regulation to show up for your clients so they get the results that they want, that they need from you, and they walk away, hopefully, depending on what service you provide or what product you provide, the best version of themselves with your
Yeah,
help.
I agree 100%. You know, again, as Annie says, you know, we're saviors. This is what you're saying. You know, we're not victims. We're not, you know, and you know, I don't think people think about the points you're making, Christiana, how they traumatize their customers themselves. They made the customers feel worse, and they drag them down into the gutter with them. As I use those words deliberately. You know, we're not there to drag our customers down to make them feel even worse. Some people think, you know, sharing your pain, it makes others, you know, infinitely helps others. It doesn't infinitely help others. It really doesn't. You know, it doesn't. You know, what helps others when we come with solutions, as Matt keeps saying, when we have ideas, when we have solutions for, you know, to help people. I think, you know, self-awareness, as you mentioned, is key. It really is key. You know, in business, self-awareness is everything. If you don't know who you are, then
And
you can't help anyone. Please feel free.
can I add to that? So it's actually, in addition to that, it's really, like I said, having the awareness, depending on what service you provide, there isn't anything wrong with bringing some of your story to the table, and that's where storytelling comes in. And I will touch on the point that Dr. Marcia shared, and that is not dwelling. There's a difference, you see, between sharing your story, speaking about yourself and your journey without the woe, but in the sense that I overcame this. This is what I've been through. I overcame this. It is not you saying, "Oh my God, poor me," woe is mine, and so on and so forth. It's actually helping to your clients to join the dots and understand why you are the right person to support them on their journey, why you're the right person to get the results that they are searching for. So in those instances, I believe that you can bring your I suppose storytelling, you can bring what you've been through, you can bring your experience to the table, but it's knowing how to deliver it as a story, showing the process and then the results, so
I agree. Now, again, showing the possibilities of getting healing, whatever your situation is. Here's how I overcame. Here's how I dealt with the issue. Here's how I faced the situation, which might help you to face your situation. See, but that again. If the more people came with that way of thinking, Christiana, we'll have a better world. It's the ones who come crying and then lower the tone of my room, destroy my room. Essentially, they're the ones I'm pointing at today and saying, "Don't do it. Stop doing it."
uh-oh.
No, it's not you.
Oh,
It's never you, Christian.
There's nuances, right? For instance, if I start a job as a car salesman and I go to that job and I bring out my Porsche in front of a customer and I say, that car's definitely better than my little Porsche. You want to buy that car, right? That's a ridiculous thing to do, and that customer is not going to understand. Or, and probably more to the point, is something like a bit like you were explaining about, you were told by your manager not to bring your full self to work. Like if that wasn't a corporate setting, but that was maybe something like an undertaker's, and you turned up and you were very buoyant and cracking jokes all the time, that would not be acceptable to do, right? And it certainly wouldn't benefit your customers just because you're a positive, bubbly person to be cracking jokes about.
Well, they wouldn't know.
This is a woman who said to me, "Stop being so happy in my events. You're too happy, Eddie."
Sorry, Matt.
I get it. Now we'll talk about miscarriage and baby loss, so I get it. I more than get it.
We're talking joy tomorrow, remember?
Yeah, I tell you, it's taken me a year and a bit to get there, though. God knows. Let's see how it goes. Zion's coming on the show, Matt. In case you're wondering.
We're going to be a right pair.
I'm still not allowed to be happy, by the way.
I get told by all of my managers, don't bring any percentage of me to any job event or anything really, and especially the car. Every time that I turn up with that car, everybody just goes, "Leave that car at home, Matt, please."
Look again. I like Anna's point.
I'm going to try that, Matt.
We're survivors, not victims. I think again, a lot of people happen to tag themselves with "I'm ill, I'm traumatized, I'm nailed to the cross every day." No, you're not. You're just not. If you put yourself in that box, then you're stuck in that box. Everything you do comes from that approach. I think if you tag yourself as an overcomer, again, don't tag yourself as an overcomer for the sake of just by waking up and say, "I would just smile and put a stiff upper lip on and I'm all right." No, address the issues that you have in life. Create a better life. Then you can create a better business. That's my point today, my friends. And thankfully, my friend, go on, please.
I'm laughing here because that's what you said to me. You're like, sort the problem out. Yeah. Like, I've already sorted the problem out. Don't go out in the cold, stay in the house, or leave the country.
No, no, yeah, solve the problem now. At least you've tried to solve the problem, right? You've tried, and and we fix problems bit by bit. Nothing I'm saying today says like Matt to be the perfect person who has that Porsche on the driveway. That's not what it's about. It's about an inner peace, and a different view of yourself. A view of yourself as someone who overcomes, someone who does the hard things, someone who does the right things. That's the authentic self we need to be for ourselves and for everyone else. You know, whatever that means to you, my friends, do the right things. And of course, I see you, Jay. I saw you earlier. I can't see the comment now. I'm glad you're here. Thank you so much, Michael. You've been far too quiet. Share with us, and then I'll give you a few more lines of my my thinking, and then because I think I want to have a rousing end. But it's not going to be rousing. It's going to be just normal, right? Michael, what are you thinking?
I think you're all doing swimmingly, and you're providing a very good service to the audience. There was something that did rattle me with regards to your customers that come in, and the quagmire that you're running into when people come into your shows and bring their problems with them. The fact is that those people are like, they're simply, they could be potential customers, potential buyers, they could be anything. And I guess I'd have to challenge you to look within yourself to find a better way to solve that situation there. Find a way to positively spin them out of their quagmire and invite them into your room with a different outlook or mindset than they came in initially. So
Yeah,
I don't know
I,
how you're going to do it, but that's
yeah,
exactly
no,
how I'd advise you.
I,
That's what I'd advise you to do.
I get
And that's
I
pretty much it.
get what you're saying in this. I get what you're saying, Mike. In a sense, I do get what you're saying. Some of them are so they're traumatized and they need help, right? I get that, and we can try and find a way to help them. You see, my issue, as Michelle says, it's okay to be okay, right? And my issue is this: if you're asking for help, yeah, great, but what I see is the people doing it from a business perspective. Don't forget, every time we show up, we're marketing, right? You're talking to potential customers. If you show up, break down, and you know, trauma dump on all of us, you're literally killing your business in front of us. Literally, no one's gonna. You might think people sympathize, so they understand. Do you really feel better? I don't think you do half the time. I think you know straight away that you've done yourself in because they're going away thinking that person's troubled. I'm not going to call you to work with you. So that's a danger, Michael. That I'm saying people need to be aware of. And I think they need to work on.
Yeah,
If you're not
and what I'm
marketing,
saying is, you're like the doctor. Give them a pill, give them a solution, give them something that will say, hey, I understand, but this is where you need to go to get your problem
yeah,
solved.
yeah.
Something like that.
It's
I understand that. But I would challenge that with this. I see what Annie is doing as what Annie can do. By having this conversation in an open, come what may, whoever it is, whether it's me talking about my little Porsche or whatever the situation is, Annie's hosting this room as a open forum to discuss a delicate conversation for some people, particularly the people who are in the thick of the very thing that we are talking about. And by having an open area that people can discuss that and express their truth, if they're going to be genuine about it, and I hope that everybody is, it starts to open the door. It's very difficult, for instance, like I would never profess to be able to tell somebody who, I don't know, is suffering from a particular mental illness, exactly where to go to seek help. I might suggest to them, go and speak to somebody on the internet. I can do a Google search for you if I can surmise what your symptoms are properly. But I don't think that I would be in a position to do that. And for many people, that's not a good or positive outcome to have a non-professional recommend what to do. The best advice would maybe be to go and see your local GP or your local doctor. But I think what we can do is to do the best that we can. And it was one point that I wanted to make earlier, is that as we get to be in a position where we have solved our own problems, our own issues, where we are realizing what we are having potential to do, and we start to explore that. And like I said before, when we look at people with a cross that is something that we could give them a hand with, and that's exactly what you're talking about, is to reach out and give people that hand. And I think, and I'm not trying to big him up or anything, like I literally do think that it's good to have these conversations to address societal, community issues or interesting subjects that people might latch onto and think, you know what, I could probably do better with myself, or I have a friend who I could probably help with something because it made me think about such and such. I think sometimes these new lives with the video are good as well, because it helps people to understand that they're more exposed and so bring more authenticity. And potentially we might see a movement forwards where people are less hung up on the problems and thinking about how to provide solutions, or how to enjoy solutions for themselves and what that means for themselves, so that then they turn up and they've got a smile on their face and talk about nonsense like Porsches and
Look,
Can I jump in?
hold on. Let me take you to Anna. I think Annie's hit the nail on the head. It is. Authenticity is a lot of things. It's not a simple one. That's as some people think. Say we tried with the honesty, with the your truth and all that. I'm saying, as Annie's saying, by embracing the fullness of who we are, we naturally show up as our authentic selves. It's embracing that fullness. It's working for that fullness. I don't see many people doing. A lot of people listen, they don't actually do anything to make a change. So when we can be our true selves, grounded in the wholeness of our humanity, that's when authenticity becomes a thing that helps us in business. Truly, Michael. Yes, I hear what you're saying, and some people, they are victims. They are needy. Does that help you in business? No.
Well,
Go on,
what I'll
go on,
say
Can
is
I
that
jump in?
they need
go
to
on, Michael.
truly they need
Yeah,
to
okay.
truly visualize and operate like Paulette Hamlet, and say, what would she do? Have like a little Paulette on their shoulder. What would you do? Let it talk you through it.
Yeah, look,
And that's how you go about solving things. Change
it's not
yourself.
Can
just
can I
Paulette.
just say?
Go on, Christiana.
So I take on board. Sorry, I take on board the point. I think let me. I'll speak to Michael's point that he made. Yes, we may provide these rooms. Let's not forget that people will want to make a change or take a leap forward into becoming who they are going to become or should become. We're forgetting one thing. We're forgetting if they are in the readiness. Are they prepared to? Are they ready for that, to make that change? Is their mindset open enough? And yes, we could have conversations of this nature in a community. Like this, they say, as the saying goes, you could take the horse, right, to the stream, but you cannot make the horse drink. So are they even, first of all, ready, prepared to want to effect that change? Are they those that you could say, you know, hello, Lindsay user, are they those that you can say that, yes, or is that Margaret? Sorry, are they in the position to say, yes, we really want this change, or are we going to continuously come to these spaces and be in the same position for the next 2, 3, 4 years? Because there are those that do that, you know. So I think
That's the worry, my friend. They're the worry. And again,
yes,
I realize I put a time on it when I say in 2025. In other words, it's time to make that change.
yes,
Come to the realization and begin to take the first steps. Again, life's not going to be perfect tomorrow. It's just not. Everything takes time, right?
and
We're
no
saying,
one's perfect.
yeah, no one, even people who we think are successful, don't live the perfect lives. But what they have done, what they do, is begin to tackle the issues in their lives. They're the hard things. You know, say no, masking up. That's the easy. I think that's the easiest way. You know, masking up and over, put a brave face on, forget your troubles, and tomorrow one day you're gonna blow up eventually, and dump your trauma on someone. Someone, either someone in a community or someone at work or someone or a customer. Which is I think is a terrible thing to do, right? Maybe just as bad as dumping on your team. We must learn to begin that journey. That's where true success lies. That's what I
Do you
learned.
I agree with
why?
you there, and at the same time, I also caution you that you have a certain amount of energy and you have a certain amount of time. So be cognizant of that as well, because you do not
Yeah,
want to.
explain that. Explain that because I think we have the same amount of time, and it's not I've got energy. I choose to share with people what I learn. That's
As
my game.
I
as you
think
spend your energy, you actually spend your time. Uh, as because obviously your energy is obviously used over a certain period of time, and then after that you lose your patience. I mean, there's a point in time when your energy goes down or so low to a point that you're not useful anymore. You're not
I,
useful to solve the problem. So you have to be cognizant of that as well. Then you have to say, okay, I am not useful. I need to pass the buck on to somebody else.
I
I feel like
think what you're
Christiana for that. Go on, Christiana, please carry
I
on.
think if I put it in a different way, what I'm hearing you say, Michael, is that time and energy is something we cannot get back, and we must be effective and careful how we expend our time and energy, especially for those people that I mentioned earlier who may not be in the readiness to receive exactly what you're here to help them with.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I would beg to differ because I don't think that energy is limited. I not in that sense anyway. So like I've mentioned a couple of things that have been wrong with me in a period of time, and in terms of energy, people perceive that as how much time you have awake and with your ability to function and do the things that you need to do and talk coherently about a particular subject or whatever it is that you're spending your energy doing, right? And there was very much a time when I only had realistically maybe 20 minutes, maybe an hour a day where I had the ability to be able to get out of bed and actually be awake. And I very much am very different to that now. And my energy continues to grow. And that is not because I do most of the traditional things that people consider that would give them energy, in the sense of many various things that I do not do that other people do. And that's because I've realized what works for me, what the solution is for me in many respects. And again, I'm talking about me. I'm not talking about the energy for everybody else. Like, your experience is your experience, but I want to share my experience, which is that I feel that energy is, for me, a bit more like some sort of dynamo, like a perpetual energy engine that just continues to function and to grow. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't go to bed or like need certain things.
I get
It
it.
doesn't.
Matt,
But
I
Matt,
get it. I
Matt,
get it. I think there's something
any,
there. Go,
any,
Christian.
but Matt,
No, I
I
don't
get
get
it
it.
from
I
your
think that's
perspective.
exactly what I'm
You do,
thinking. I'm thinking that you at some point you got to go to bed or something.
Yeah.
You sound like an
Every day.
energy
but
Hold on,
bug.
Michael,
hold on,
Michael,
yeah.
hold on, let me finish.
One sec.
So here's what I'm saying, Matt. I get what you're saying. I'm gonna say this, as you mentioned, we're all different. And when I speak of energy, I speak of the energy and time that we commit to perhaps you're helping somebody, like I said, who's not in the readiness space. There's only so much time and energy you can devote to that person, because your time literally is divided into so many other people, so many other things and other causes. So would you want to spend all the energy that is constantly evolving on the one person, on that same person that shows up time and time again, but you see no difference, no change in them? That's what I mean by your time and energy you cannot get back. You just cannot get. And I'm not saying that you don't spend that time and energy, but we have to operate with some I suppose some common sense, in a sense that when somebody's not at the place of readiness and they're not wanting to make a change, do we spend the energy continuously, or do we say, actually, there are those who I can put the same energy into and they will be better and I can see the benefits and they will take it up and they will use it and they will be a better person, or they will get on that journey and start to move forward and make progress. So when Michael mentioned to be careful with time and energy, for me, that's the way I view it that way. I view it as in, yes, our time and energy is limited. For example, the work I do, it's one that is very much energy. It takes a lot of energy to hear graphic, information from those who have really gone through a trauma or traumas, at times they've gone through more than 1, 2, 3, 4 miscarriage or baby loss, and it's having to listen to that over and over again, and being able to support them naturally, having all that time for everybody, for each person, is a great thing. And I'm very privileged and blessed that they are in a readiness stage to be able to perceive and to welcome and to use and move forward that which I pour into them, because it takes energy to pour into people and to get results, especially in this line of work. So I hear what Michael is saying, even though I hear what you're saying too, but what the point I was making from Michael's share is that, yes, we have to be mindful of our time and energy, which needs to go into, I don't know, to say the right people is probably the wrong use of, phrase, but it's being mindful of that.
Yes, I hear you. Again, Annie, I think, look, I agree with you. Of course, I've said it already. Life is not perfect. We're not perfect. The world's not perfect, but yes, we have to respect each other. Sharing is caring, yes, but Annie, I know you care for people. I'm saying you don't dump your trauma on them. If you do, then I'll live and learn, right? I'm saying this is a conversation. Michael, I'll come to your point in 1 second, and I'll give you the mic after that, if that's all right. So, when do you know when to stop? Look, I think my take, Michael, is that much like I think Matt's saying, when you find inner peace, you can commit to the mission, the goal, whatever that is. your mission, your goal. You can't commit to anything when you don't have inner peace. When you don't do the work we're talking about today, when you don't value your customers, when you don't exist to serve, it's hard to find the energy to carry on. And let's face it, in truth, look, many of us design the wrong business, which draws our energy, right? Being said, what you're saying, almost the problem that you're describing, Mark, is the problem of a coach. And that's what Christiana's talking about as well. Someone who coaches people by talking to them, listening to them, and then advising them. If they don't act and do the right thing, yes, you can be drained out for a while, but some of the rest of us create a business where we're the doers. That's what Matt's done. That's what I've done. Well, for better or for worse, maybe we're foolish, Matt. Seriously, let's face this truth, right? We live every day to live our mission and to do whatever it takes, as long as it takes, to keep doing. To
Extreme confidence, Annie, like you said earlier.
Extreme confidence.
And not ego. Confidence in the belief, the knowledge, the understanding, the purpose of what we are aiming to achieve and what we ultimately will achieve by the belief and the exercising of that belief into action to make things happen, right? And that's how miracles happen. And I completely understand.
It may kill us, Matt. It may kill us. We might die doing it. But that's all right, right? That's cool. I don't mind that, really. Yeah. I'd rather that than get some chronic illness and die over many years. Really, I said that out loud, right? It's true. We love what we do because we have found a peace in our minds and a place in the world, and to serve people. That's what we're here for, right? That's the truth. And those who succeed, Michael, I think. It takes some years. It takes some years. So those who do this work have the energy to do it for years. Christine, I see you. Thank you so much for joining us. Christine does death tech. And again, many things people do is not because it's fun necessarily. It's because it's a passion. It has to be. You can't find passion if you're traumatized. Really. It's about finding that place where you work in joy, in happiness. Now, when you find that place, I think, you can move mountains. Those who succeed take 25 years, 30 years. Some, it takes a whole lifetime. If Edison and his bulb didn't do it happen in a year or two, it took nearly the rest of his life, right? He really...
Get a Porsche.
Much easier, right? Michael, please feel free. Welcome, Christine. I'm glad you're here.
I was just going to thank Christina for her comments, because her description was perfect, and not only was it perfect, but it transported me to the little known electronic device known as a capacitor, and what it's capable of doing and not capable of doing, and its purpose in everyday electronics. And basically it actually describes how it kind of describes how we actually ended up calling it a capacitor, because of the fact that it actually builds up voltage and potential within itself, and then after a certain amount of period of time, because of design, it either ejects it or it blows up, depending on its and that's what she's talking
Sounds
about.
fun.
She's make or break, right?
Yeah. And then she's talking about releasing that capacitor, and I was like, okay, she's talking about taking that energy and putting it through a transistor, where the transistor takes the energy and transfers it on to the next electronic circuit or to the customer, and and the customer enjoys the little zing, and then they're all right for a few minutes or so, and then they come back and then do that repeatedly. So that's what she's talking about. She's talking about her own capacitor, her own capacity to actually hold emotional energy, which she picks up on very well.
I get
And
it.
it's a big capacity,
I
Michael.
get it. It's a big capacity,
Mhm.
but still, it's not fine. It's not infinite. That's the
No.
thing, right?
Yeah, that's right.
I think again, it's all part of my point today. When we dump on others, what are we doing to them? How much of their resources are we using when we think we are sympathizing by sharing that trauma, by giving them our trauma instead? Very different to what you're talking about, Christiana. I'm saying, using it our experience to help people. That's one thing. But people who just want to tell you their problems and share they lead with the problems. This is the point. They lead with the problems as if their burden is worse than our burden, and they're not thinking about their customers at all. That's a problem. So I like Christina saying there is an AI tool, bereavement AI tool that you can use.
So
Acts like a sounding board. I don't know whether you've seen this Google Gemini thing, where you can talk to your phone and it will talk to you as if it's your friend, give you advice, tell you jokes, give you tips. It's just so sad, but there's tools out there, Christiana, so you don't get burnt out, as Michael is suggesting. Yeah.
there's a song. I'm sure people know this song, but I'm gonna change the words.
Is it a Cliff Richard song?
It's no.
Someone's like Cliff Richard song, Wired for
if
Sound, comes to mind.
if if we tried this, maybe we would be showing up authentically. So it's a thing of thinking like this: you have 99 problems, and I ain't trying to be one. So don't be the 100th problem.
Yes, I
Because we have
agree.
99 problems. I'm not trying to be one.
I think this is Margaret, and I say she'll play that Cliff Richard song in her the jam events that she does.
Oh,
I've been to one
nice.
for a while. Henry, I see you now. So I didn't know you were here. The word the authenticity as a journey has been described. It seems like unifying as many people as possible. Yeah, it's finding yourself, Henry. It's finding your true self, your real self, which is and that self. Let me give you an idea before we go. So as I was doing my notes for this, I found a post by Michelle Ramos. I hope she's still here. And the words I took from it is, I see you. I see the weight you carry every single day, holding up the world for your family, your friends, your co-workers, and your community. I know it feels endless and heavy, a burden you've placed on yourself because no one else will. And I've missed out a few lines. He said, and because I know you are tired, I know what it's like to be the rock, the one who never crumbles because you are the foundation others rely on. And my thing is, let's make this our authentic self that we bring to the world every day. We are the rock people rely on. We have to understand that. And we have to get ourselves in a position where we can serve more than we take. I say again. This is my point, and hopefully it resonates with someone. And I'm not trying to, not everyone has a problem by a long way. But for those, if a cat fits, begin to address the issues. When we do, when we do that, my friends, when we stand up for others, for ourselves, for our community, everyone benefits, everyone rises. That's truly my take. That's what I've learned over the years. I could show up and crumble, but there's no point doing that. Really not. Matt, I can see your face. Talk to me. What are you thinking, Matt?
Yeah, I'm just thinking exactly what you're saying, right? And we all do this in our different ways, in the sense of we get to a point where we've solved our problems, and then we find a functionable way from our skill set, our energy, as some people have described it, to help solve other people's problems, to put our hand out to the people who are carrying their crosses, to see if we can help them to bear that and move forwards into a place of solving their own problems and helping them with that. And a bit like everybody was saying earlier about the energy that people like Christina, for example, offer to her clients, if that's the right word to use, to offer up their energy that gets bound up in the individual one-to-one approach of dealing and helping those people to move forwards from a place of extreme unhappiness, discomfort, whatever that might be. And that then transitions through to people like you, Annie, who are trying to help people to become famous so that then they can bring their positivity, their attributes, their solutions to the world, so that then that can, like you said, bring everybody up. And we do that by individual people like Christina and many, many others, bringing up individual people or groups of people, one-to-one, one-to-many, whatever that might be, and then through to bigger movements that are really trying to lift that level up for everybody, so that then it's easier for us all as we all try to make a positive impact, because we've all experienced some degree of solving our problems. And that is what we want to do, is to solve problems, because we want the world to be a better place, like you said, for our communities and for our families and each other, and ourselves fundamentally. And that's integral to that, is wanting something better for ourselves, because that's where that journey very much begins, and what you're trying to hopefully inspire in people to start to take that journey for themselves, right?
Truly, truly beautifully said, man. Kudos from man. I don't know if that's, I don't know which of our LinkedIn users. Christiana's on stage, so listen, we can see her name now. Christiana, it works, by the way. I'm just reminding myself.
I was going to say to you, I'm no longer a LinkedIn user. Yay, well done. Thank you. So,
how did you find that?
You're a star, man. She was hidden for a long time, because you can see who she was. And I think that's there's Margaret and there's
that's
Lois.
Margaret.
Okay.
I think.
Margaret.
Or
Yeah.
Annie.
True. We don't know.
My device is about to die.
Okay. Let me show you something very quickly, and then we can end our show. A quick slideshow. I could read it out, but I'll let you read it yourself. I might ask a question one day. How do you develop total commitment? Yeah, it is having that greater mission in life that we're here for. Cristiano, before you have to fall off, what do you want to leave us with?
What do I want to leave you guys with? I think the first thing is for all of us to remember that we are first and foremost human beings, and to help each other out. Because sometimes when people show up their authentic self, as their authentic self rather, and they might come with well-meaning intentions, and perhaps they may not be aware of how others perceive them. It's really being that friend and not the foe to help them through that process. I know we've spoken about time and energy and people being in a prepared or ready state to receive. Just remember that when people are being authentic and we shop for our clients, remember to always help. Just to help out. Yes, be authentic, but what are you giving to the person in front of you or the next person next to you when you are authentic? And what do you want them to perceive of what you have given off or given out to them? Are they walking away from you full, right? So full of positivity, full of reassurance in you, full of trust in you, or are they walking away full of trepidation and woe and regret, frustration when they walk away from you? So that's what I want to leave.
Great points to make, my friend. Whilst I would say be the hero, there is a question of how people are feeling, but I think aim for good is what I say. Aim to be the ones who helps others. So we're here to serve, not to dump on people. Michael, what's your final words for us today, my friend?
Well, I'd like to tack on what Michelle said because I think it's very important. That is the walk away. On both sides, either you walk away from them, having done your job and having fulfilled your mission, or if you didn't think it was your mission, at least come to a point where, yes, you accept the fact that you own it and you do something positive with it instead of negative. Ensure that the person is also the receiver. The receiver also needs to be in needs to leave you in that attitude where you're both feeling good that you met each other that day and that you got a resolution for whatever problem was presented. Collaborate, do not compete. It's not a competition in this world. It's all about collaboration. Collaboration. That's about it.
Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you. That is a mindset thing, really. It's whether you are here to do good again, or whether you're here to rip them off, suck them dry, and dump on them. Crush them with your misery.
Annie, could I add one more thing?
Go on, feel free, please.
It's that song. I don't know if you remember. I'm trying to think of the artist where it says, "Where's your head at?" So where's your head at when you show up? Where is your head at when you show up?
Yeah, it matters. When we're here to serve, we come with a different approach. When we're here to suck them dry and to dump on them, that's a whole different perspective. Your head is in a whole different place, Christiana. Totally. No, thanks to enough people whose head is in the right place. I think we need to learn from them and appreciate them. I think that's the thing. Matt, I'll let you have the last word, my friend. Yeah, I didn't realize that this was really in your wheelhouse, because now when I read the words behind you,
well,
I can see clearly this is your topic inside out. I never knew. So thank you for joining us. I'll say that for sure.
It's my pleasure, Annie, as always, to be along with such a wonderful guy that everybody looks up to for guidance, inspiration, and motivation to be able to move forwards in their lives. And I would end with what Michael said was very good for him, and hopefully good for other people, because I found it incredibly useful for me, which is that as we get to a place in our lives where we reflect on what we have been in the past, what we have failed to achieve, what we have hoped to do in our lives, or whatever it is that we have problems in existing. Those things are not the things that actually are the sum total of us. Those are not what we are. What we are is the potential to be the very difference to those things, the solution to our problems, the solution to other people's problems, whether that be an individual or many people or all people. The point is that we have within us the ability to be so much more, and we can do that once that we solve the problems that we have had in the past and face up to those and realize that those are not us. Those are our past. What we are is our future and the possibilities of what that truly represents, and not just our future, but the future of all the generations that are to come. And if we are to truly make a better world for them, we start with ourselves and open the door for what they could bring to the table in the future.
Yeah, Matt, beautifully said, my friend. I couldn't agree more. This is
Very
this
nice, Matt.
is my point
What's
today.
what's that in the background over there behind you? Revelation, Viva, Revelation.
said-
What is it?
My chair's going to get in the way. You said this word, and I listened to the word as you said it. You said resolution is the middle word. Revelation, resolution, revolution.
Okay, very nice.
Look, join Matt's
Not-
cause, and I check out
I just
kudos.
think, whilst
Yeah.
it's fresh in my brain, you know me, I forget about things because I start thinking about my Porsche. Revelation is the realization of where we are at, a truth. Resolution is what we can do to make things different, to provide a solution. Resolution. And revolution is what that will create for us and our communities and our families and the world and our future generations, because we are no longer then bound by what we are today, and instead we realize true change and true transformation into what we all wanted the world to be when we were small and dreamt about whatever it was that we wanted to do.
Look, go to the comments.
Evolution. Excellent.
Go to the comments, connect with Matt, and check out his kudos mission. A huge team of amazing people, and
Yeah, thank you very much for bringing him up. He's an excellent guy.
yeah,
Thank you.
He really is. I didn't know he came and they wanted to become on stage. Linda, I look forward to meeting you tomorrow. I really do. So thank you so much for joining. Everyone has joined
I
us.
hope that when Christina fell off the stage, that she did not fall off on her phone.
No, she's still here. She's there just about. She wants us to finish quick, that way she doesn't die. And before we go, everyone has joined us. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. My favorite Michelles in the world. Thank you, Michelle Ramos. Yeah, I told you I used your quotes. I didn't tell you that. You know I was going to use your quote. And the picture at the beginning is Michelle Ramos's thing as well. I didn't show a video. Dr. Marcia, I appreciate you coming to join us. I appreciate your amazing share as well. And my friends, look, join me in 2 weeks' time. I might talk about one of the issues on the slides. I think, how do you keep that total commitment? I'd love to learn how you keep that commitment, what that really means for you and your business. Matt, you're a star. Christiana, you're a star. Michael, you're a legend. All of you, thank you so much. Look, go in the comments and respond to people. Because I'm sure the people who are saying great things about you in there. It's an amazing thing when these rooms work eventually. Everyone's forgotten how we started off today, right? Yeah, I haven't forgotten. Look, enjoy your evening, my friends. Thank you so much. You are unique, beautiful beings. Go on. Michael?
Yeah. I was just saying that I wanted to be a star as well, like everybody else.
You're a star. I mentioned you're a star. You're on stage. You're one of the beautiful people. Michelle says, beautiful human souls who's helping unique people like Michelle.
I feel a lot better. I feel a lot better now. Thank you.
And Michelle is one of those people who inspire me. If you're deaf and blind and you keep showing up, that says something. And you don't show up to wallow in your self-pity. That says a lot. Watch out for this woman. So we'll get to know her as time goes on. She's doing amazing things, and she has big plans to help more people, especially kids, who are in foster care in the US. It's life we live. These people in our communities. Let's support them. Jay, I see you as well. Thank you so much for being here. Our story to drive, and our stories, especially stories, to tell ourselves. Change those narratives. Focus on the good things by doing the good things, making the good things happen. Bye, everyone. Enjoy your evening. Bye.
Every step forward is a new beat for your drama. She's success with Global.Media.com and celebrate it with or without champagne or rum. She's success with Global.Media.com. know it is a new beat to your drama.